You make women, according to them, props.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I said the same thing about Hugh Hefner, right? I don't know.
There are always going to be controversial people in our world. The question that is upon us to answer is how we go and handle these controversial people when they arrive in our midst. For Dan Bilzerian, he may have come off as someone who was a businessman, an actor, a poker player, and more, but as time went on, his controversies showed exactly who he was in the large scale, and in the good way. So much so that his wealth is heavily debated, and his future is very much up in the air. Allow us to ask, is Dan Bilzerian really broke? Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. His early life. Before we go into any detail on just how broke and corrupt Bilzerian might be, it's important to go and note his early life and how he came to be such a success. Bilzerian was born on December 7, 1980, in Tampa, Florida, the son of corporate takeover specialist Paul Bilzerian and Terry Steffen. He is the brother of fellow poker player Adam Bilzerian. His father was a corporate raider on Wall Street who provided both his sons with trust funds. Bilzerian claims to have subsequently enrolled at the University of Florida and studied there for 4 years, majoring in business and criminology, but it is unclear if he ever graduated. Based on what we honestly know about him in terms of facts, we're going to bet on no. But as you can see, he wasn't exactly wanting for anything, given that he had a trust fund, and he would use that fund in a variety of ways over the years. Poker career. Much like his brother, Dan Bilzerian tried his hand at playing poker professionally. And if you were to believe his claims, he apparently has done very well. For example, in the 2008 World Series of Poker, yes, that's a real thing, and it's honestly awesome to watch. He came in 180th place, which may not sound very impressive, but the main event that he played in had thousands of players, so for him to last that long is honestly rather impressive. In November 2013, Bilzerian posted an unconfirmed claim that he won $10.8 million from a single night of playing poker. And in 2014, he claimed to have won $50 million throughout the year, adding that he doesn't play against professionals anymore, and the most he's ever lost in a single session is $3.6 million. Again, it's hard to gauge whether this is a true statement or a lie, but it is possible that he was that successful, and also possible that he's full of it, not unlike a lot of other poker players, and just amping up what he feels he did and the success he had. Ignite. And now we get to the more controversial elements of his life. Bilzerian runs the company Ignite International Brands Limited, which sells electronic cigarettes, CBD oils, water bottles, and vodka, among other products. Ignite is a public company headquartered in Toronto, Canada, that began trading in January 2019 under the BILZF ticker. The company reportedly lost over $50 million in 2019, mostly on marketing and office rental expenses, which is not a good thing at all. And that was just the start of his controversies in many ways, because he's not exactly a guy on the up and up, if you get our drift, especially with how he handles his money. If the models, yachts, cars, guns, and stacks of cash that populate Bilzerian's Instagram feed are in any way related to his company, and seeing as the models and his house and his jet all bear that goat horn logo that's Ignite's brand, there is a good chance that they are, and are paid for with company cash. The answer to how does Dan Bilzerian do it is simple. Like any good businessman, it seems Bilzerian sticks someone else with the bill. And that is bad, because especially in the current economic climate that was brought up during the global pandemic, they're in a bit of a pickle, as one analyst notes. The company will need to raise capital in order to fund its operations and continue its existing and prospective expansion into strategic markets. This need may be adversely impacted by uncertain capital market conditions, including those created by the COVID-19 pandemic, an inability to secure strategic partnerships in key markets, and an unfavorable perception of the Ignite brand. wrote the company's board of directors before warning investors that the whole thing might be ready to self-immolate. Although the company has been successful in the past in obtaining financing, there is no assurance that it will be able to obtain adequate financing in the future, or that such financing will be on terms that are acceptable to the company. They continued, "The uncertainty of the company's ability to achieve profitable operations and its success in raising additional capital funding may cast significant doubt on the company's ability to continue as a going concern. I'm wondering what's going on behind the curtain," said Meital Manzouri, a Los Angeles-based cannabis business attorney. "They probably expanded too quickly, had loose spending, bad business decisions, which is common in this space," she added. "They just look like a failing company for a failing man, and his woes have been well documented by some over the last year or so." Renting, bankruptcy, and more. So Dan's fame got so bad that people wanted to go and check on him in early 2021. So much so that a model decided to pull a prank by trying to get into his house in various ways. Eventually, she was stopped by a security guard who noted that Dan didn't live there anymore, but instead moved to Las Vegas. What's more, it was revealed that the house itself was never owned by Dan. Rather, it was one that was a house available to rent, which he rented for $200,000 a month. Kind of makes you think about why he left, right? More than likely because his lifestyle was catching up to him, and he won't be able to maintain his lifestyle for very much longer. There are some who have actually dissected his wealth and say that he's either broke or on the verge of near bankruptcy. Either option is not going to be appealing for someone like Dan, mainly because of how he's gone and projected his image. Instagram King. The reason we say that is because he has gone on Instagram and not only proclaimed himself its king, hint, he's not, but if you go and look at all the various posts that he's done over the years, including in recent times, he goes and makes you think that he has all the money in the world, to the extent that he's actually made many pictures of himself with either loads of stacks of cash or holding up wads of cash next to someone, usually a model. The term flexing comes to mind here, because he's all but trying to prove to the world at large that he is rich and powerful and hangs out with people that you'd love to hang out with. It's a classic trope in the celebrity world, sadly enough. But the question, as always, becomes, is this a fake flex? Is he going and stating that he has all this wealth via his company, when in fact he's using his trust fund money and potentially his poker winnings to go and make himself seem richer than he is? One site that evaluates net worth said that he was worth approximately $200 million at the end of 2020. But one has to wonder if that's really true, because let's face it, if he was worth anywhere close to that amount of money, why would he be in such trouble? House of Cards? That is the question, isn't it? Is all of what he has done merely just a house of cards? A show of force via some money and using others to benefit from, and yet leaving everyone else holding the bag? That does seem to be the case, sadly enough, and others, including many YouTube stars, are trying to call attention to it, because people like him are not who we need in this world. But the benefit of a house of cards is that eventually it'll all come crumbling down, and he'll be the one who has to pay the ultimate price eventually. Trying to live the life. Dan Bilzerian is one of many, many people out there in the world who have gone and done things like this. They've tried to place themselves as the focal point of attention and show off their wealth and class, and yet they are nothing but shams. He is nothing more than a 40-year-old man trying to live the best frat boy lifestyle he can, and he'll keep doing that until the party is over. What do you think of this look at Dan Bilzerian? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.